7. Espantos montantes de histórias de troqueiros horror. Descubra os segredos inesquecíveis do amaldiçoado autoestrada. Jake tightened his grip on the wheel, heart racing as he navigated the empty Highway 12. This road was infamous, whispered about in hushed tones over beers at the local bar. It held stories that sent shivers down spines, tales of truckers who disappeared, leaving nothing but tire marks behind. The air around him felt thicker, charged, almost alive, as if the highway had eyes, watching, waiting. With his family depending on what little money he could scrape together from driving this cursed route, he pressed on. Shadows danced in the corners of his limited vision, figures appearing and disappearing along the roadside. He told himself it was just exhaustion. The fading lights of his truck played tricks on him. But every mile he clocked pried deeper into his gut, a swirling vortex of dread coiling tighter. He flicked the radio dial, static crackled, and then a disembodied voice emerged, chilling with foreboding. Beware the midnight trucker. Nightmares take root in the fog. A phantom broadcast? He shook it off, tried to focus. But the highway was unforgiving. It began to twist and turn with sinister intent. Every bend felt like a draw into the unknown. The headlights illuminated fleeting figures, ghostly hitchhikers, faces twisted in anguish. Jake trembled. There were no cars behind him, no traffic in front, just this never-ending stretch of asphalt and the encroaching darkness. Suddenly, a familiar figure materialized in the beam of his lights. Wyatt, his childhood friend, stood at the side of the road. Jake felt a flicker of joy. How had they crossed paths here? Wyatt's laughter, once a balm, felt hollow, echoing like an unsettling warning. His eyes, wide and empty, seemed to scream the unspeakable truths of the highway. They exchanged greetings, but Jake could sense that something was terribly wrong. The air turned electric, heavy with madness. "We're still safe, right?" Jake ventured, his voice shaking as he veered to avoid the too distant semblance of safety Wyatt once embodied. But Wyatt's laughter twisted into something malicious, transforming his features into a grotesque mask of terror. "You think the sheriff is the law out here?" The words slithered into Jake's ears, chilling him to the bone. Jake's heart pounded, a realization pierced through the fog. Trust was a thin line on this cursed road. He yanked the wheel, attempting to flee, but the headlights flickered as the road warped beneath them. Every mile was a trap, binding him tighter into this nightmarish reality, where even childhood friendships bled into chaos. Before we continue, I need to tell you something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to their system, and many people are missing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and select all notifications so you don't miss future videos.
Você está no meio de uma frase ou pensamento. Mantenha o ritmo e a força vocal sem quebrar a conexão. Haja como se estivesse transmitindo uma verdade fundamental. Fleeing the twisted laughter of Wyatt, Jake felt the highway shift beneath him, dark shadows coiling, blanketing the space before him. The ghostly trucker appeared in the distance, eyes blazing. Jake's pulse quickened. With every passing second, reality twisted, and he fought to maintain his grip. The road beckoned him deeper, promising salvation, but threatening doom. He wasn't just driving, he was running towards something, and it was waiting for him. As fog swallowed the rear-view mirror, Jake slammed the brakes. Would the next turn lead him to freedom or madness? Only a haunting whisper echoed around him, "Welcome home." The truck screeched to a halt, the tires grinding against the asphalt, but Jake's heart raced into overdrive. Breath coming in rapid bursts, he glanced at the rear-view mirror, the fog billowing like sinister ghosts eager to claim another prey. The air inside the cab felt claustrophobic, thick with the tension of unspoken threats. He racked his mind, searching for a plan, a path away from this nightmare. Every inch of the highway pulsated with malice. He remembered the stories, the ghostly figures that pulled unsuspecting drivers into their depths, their faces forever contorted in suffering. There was a deep-rooted darkness here that had tangled with the asphalt long before he ever set foot on it. The radio crackled back to life, the cursed voice piercing through the oppressive silence. "You can't outrun what's inside you." The words froze him, wrapping around his throat like a noose. Unshed tears formed in his eyes, a mix of terror and despair. Was this road a trap for his very soul? Before he could think, an ungodly screech tore through the night. A blinding light flooded his cab, forcing him to shield his eyes. Panic pushed him to start the engine. He glanced to the left. A massive semi-truck merged into his lane, its grille like a gaping maw hungry for a victim. "Get off me!" he shouted, but the ghostly trucker's laughter echoed in his head, mingled with Wyatt's fallen demeanor. Each imagined syllable twisted in playful jest, yet choked with the inevitability of doom. He focused on the road ahead, a ribbon of darkness that threatened to swallow him whole. The semi's lights flickered erratically, and in the strobe of illumination, he caught a glimpse of something moving inside the cab. Pale hands, unnaturally elongated, grasping at the steering wheel. His blood ran cold. "Who are you?" The question tore from his lips, but only silence answered. He didn't want to look again, but he felt compelled, as if the shadows called to him. With trembling fingers, he turned the dial on the radio. Static crackled, transforming into the distant sounds of screams interspersed with weeping.
The horror seeped into him, clawing beneath his skin, and before he could deny it, he knew the truth. The road itself was a living entity, wrapping him in a sinister embrace of despair. Panicking, he jerked the wheel, seeking an escape, any escape. The truck obeyed, but as he swerved, the world outside fell away, melting into spectral echoes of past drivers, weightless and unseeing. Time and space tangled. One moment he was speeding down the highway, and the next, a fog-drenched hellscape surrounded him. Whispers of vanished souls rising from the depths. Jake's breath turned shallow. "I need to get out." He pressed down on the gas, desperation fueling him. The truck responded, surging forward. Pillars of shadow flickered by, grotesque faces manifesting in the mist, each expression twisted in a silent scream. Just as he thought he was breaking free, the ground beneath him shifted again. Rolling fog condensed, swirling with haunting intent. He felt the tug of regret, of choices made, the haunting realization that he could have turned back. The darkness wrapped tighter, suffocating and unforgiving.
Suddenly, his headlights caught something on the roadside, a sign barely visible through the veil of fog. "Welcome to your end." The world around him warped, and Jake understood he was not alone. The darkness was alive, pulling at his sanity, and with every passing moment, it leaked into his mind like poison. Then, in the distance, the shape of the ghostly trucker emerged again, and with it a chilling invitation. "Join us." Jake's world spun into the suffocating dark. All hope shattered. His hands shook, his fingers slipping against the wheel. Was there truly an escape from this endless highway? Just as the chaos overwhelmed him, a flash of light pierced the veil, bright and pure. In that fleeting moment, it offered a stark choice. Would he dive deeper into darkness or reach for the glimmer of salvation? And with that choice, everything changed. What awaited him in Highway 12 was far more sinister than any shadow could reveal. The moment the blinding light erupted, Jake felt a rush that was both terrifying and exhilarating. It cut through the suffocating fog like a sword, and for a heartbeat, the oppressive darkness receded. He squinted against the brightness, heart pounding, desperate for clarity. Would this be his salvation? But the moment was fleeting. The light faded, leaving him with an unsettling emptiness that clung to his skin. Just when he thought the spectral trucker and its ghostly crew had vanished, they surged back into view, their faces twisted into mockery. Laughter echoed through the cab, an earthly harmony that stung his ears. His foot slammed on the gas. The truck roared to life, but it felt like a beast resisting its rider. The highway stretched before him, far too long, a ribbon of impending doom. The specters surged around him, their forms flickering, mere shadows that threatened to engulf him whole. Then, in the distance, the shape of the ghostly trucker emerged again, and with it a chilling invitation. "Join us." Jake's world spun into the suffocating dark. All hope shattered. His hands shook, his fingers slipping against the wheel. Was there truly an escape from this endless highway? Just as the chaos overwhelmed him, a flash of light pierced the veil, bright and pure. In that fleeting moment, it offered a stark choice. Would he dive deeper into darkness or reach for the glimmer of salvation? And with that choice, everything changed. What awaited him in Highway 12 was far more sinister than any shadow could reveal.
"Breathe, Jake. You need to breathe," he gasped, trying to calm the chaos in his mind. Sweat soaked his shirt, and the cold chill crawled up his spine. The feeling of being watched intensified. He was no longer just a driver. He was prey. Suddenly, the radio spat static once more, but this time a different voice crept through. Low, guttural, it rasped. "They've been waiting for you, Jake." His gut twisted. Who was waiting? For what? The ominous tone felt like a hand reaching into his soul, twisting it with dread. Ahead, the fog swirled like a living thing, distorting reality. Dark figures coalesced just beyond the immediate glow of his headlights. He could see them clearer now, lost souls trapped in the ether, their faces etched in agony. Their mouths moved, but no sound reached him. They seemed to beckon, pleading for release, or perhaps silently damn him to join them. Enough of this, he screamed at himself, gritting his teeth and focusing on the road. The truck's engine roared defiantly, mimicking his struggle against the encroaching darkness. But every turn felt like a betrayal, his instincts screaming to go back. Yet his unwillingness to succumb drove him deeper into the choking fog. As he accelerated, every bump in the road jolted his senses. Each jolt was punctuated by a whisper, a name, a warning. Nothing made sense anymore. The world around him blurred together, and for a moment he thought he glimpsed the figure from the sign again, grinning wildly, taunting him with the truth of his doom. A fierce gust of wind rattled the truck, and the air thickened. With a jarring bump, the wheels skidded as the asphalt gave way beneath him, transforming into an undulating mass of shadow. Panic surged, and Jake wrestled with the steering wheel, but it felt as if the road itself was alive, pulling him into its maw. Darkness swooped in, and amidst the chaos, he caught a lingering glimpse of a childlike face staring up from the abyss, hollow eyes wide with horror. "Help me!" it cried soundlessly. Tears streamed down Jake's face. How many had come before him? How many had disappeared just like this? One wrong turn on the haunted Highway 12 seemed to lead to an eternal rest. The thought momentarily froze him, a dagger embedded in his mind. But then he shook it off, determination sparking anew. "I will not be another ghost," he yelled. And like a switch, a shocking clarity pulsed through him. With a frantic twist of the ignition key, he turned to the radio. "Give me something," he pleaded. And in an instant, a patch of clarity hit him like a beacon. A jangle of indecipherable notes broke through the chaos. It felt like a lifeline, a chance to break free from the malevolence wrapping around him. Yet, as he leaned forward, desperate and grasping for hope, he realized with dread that the glimmering light of salvation was fading again, the whispers returning, louder, drowning him in despair. In that moment of realization, the last echoes of laughter faded into stillness, as if lost souls waited for him to make his final choice: plunge deeper into the ominous depths, or fight one last time against the haunting abyss. The road stretched endlessly before him, and ahead something darker awaited, lurking just beyond the veil of fog. Would he have the strength to face it, or would Highway 12 claim him as it had so many before? The choice loomed, and the road called. Jake's heart raced in sync with the pulsing lights of the dashboard, each warning flicker a portent of the unknown. He gripped the steering wheel, knuckles white against the black leather, as shadows danced before him. One moment he was the hunter, determined, angry even. The next, a rabbit trapped in a corner, heart thundering in fear. The deafening silence that followed the radio static felt like a sinister hold, pressing down on him. He forced his gaze ahead, willing the fog to lift, believing that if he could just see, just discern a path, he might escape this phantasmagoria. But the whispers grew louder, doubling down on his panic. They took on a tone he began to recognize, his own voice, echoing doubts and fears he'd suppressed for too long. "Turn back," it beckoned, curling around him like smoke. "You don't belong here. This is not your battle." He shook his head as if to cast the voice away, not wanting to entertain the thought that he wasn't meant to be here. "No, I refuse to become another ghost on this God-forsaken highway." The road twisted beneath him, slick with shadows that seemed to breathe. It was alive, writhing beneath the weight of despair. As he pressed harder on the accelerator, a looming darkness pulled at the corners of his vision. His foreboding sense of dread grew with each passing second. A shape materialized, almost breaking through the fog. It was a semi-truck, its headlights cutting through the haze. But this was no ordinary truck. The cold gleam of steel glistened ominously in the dim light, and as it closed the distance, Jake realized there were no wheels turning beneath it. It drifted, slithering forward like a serpent hungry for its meal. "Oh no," Jake breathed, as the realization hit him like a punch to the gut. It was a manifestation of everything he feared, a titan of the road that was hunting him. A wretched chill filled the truck, and sweat began to bead down his spine. He could hardly breathe, each gasp a laborious struggle against the crushing weight of fate bearing down upon him. The phantom truck's headlights suddenly flared, illuminating the empty road ahead, a temporary reprieve from the impending doom. But there, straddling the double lines, stood a figure cloaked in shadow. Its gaunt face bore an eerie smile, lips curling back to reveal teeth that looked sharper than any blade. With each second that passed, the figure moved toward him, a slow, deliberate dance. "Join us, Jake." "You are already part of the family," it beckoned, voice smooth like honey unwinding through the void. The laughter of the spectral crew echoed from the corners of his mind, flooding him with memories he'd rather forget. People he'd lost, roads he'd run away from. "No," he shouted, casting a panicked glance in the rearview mirror. The road behind him morphed into a churning sea of shadows, fingernails scraping at the corners of reality, begging for what had been lost. Desperation surged, and Jake swerved the truck wildly, narrowly dodging the specter as it lunged forward. The cinder-like darkness flickered around him, trying to latch on to his very essence. He slammed the gas, speed pushing him forward, but the narrowing road seemed to laugh at his attempts to escape. All he could feel was the pull of an unseen force, and the pressure against his chest intensified with every heartbeat. Suddenly, his truck hit something, a thud that jolted him hard against the seat. The sound echoed thunderously, and the steering wheel jerked as control slipped from his hands. Farther down the road, he could see, just for a split second, the figure from earlier lying still. No, waiting. Jake struggled to regain control, panic blinding him, fighting the dread that whispered warnings in his ear, urging him to look away. But the horror of it gnawed at his thoughts. What had he just hit? Was it just a memory, or had he really connected with the damned? He fought harder against the black tide, but the fog thickened, pressing down like a wet blanket, suffocating him. He couldn't shake the feeling that he was on the brink. Eventually, he would stop fighting and succumb.
As the darkness loomed ever closer, he thought he heard a soft voice, sweet yet sinister. "Let go, Jake. It's time." And that was when he saw it, a flicker of light, like an entrance to another realm, drawing him in. Would he dare to follow that glimmer? Or would the road's fate pull him into the deep? In the chaos, the choice felt heavier than before. The whispers were now seductive, tempting him to embrace the void beckoning beyond. But within the haze, the figure still waited, expectant and patient, ready to receive him. If he made the wrong choice, which path would he take? Toward salvation or deeper into despair? And what other hidden horrors awaited as the road twisted ahead? The piercing brightness of the flickering light forced Jake's eyes to blink rapidly. Shadows shifted, seemingly animated by a life of their own, distorting into grotesque shapes. The truck trembled beneath him, a vessel adrift in a sea of despair. The whispers swirled around him, now urgent and frantic, clawing at his sanity. "Turn back, you don't belong here." That voice again, harsh and accusatory, burrowed into his head. With every heartbeat, it grew louder, as if 1,000 demons were echoing their displeasure. He bit down hard on his lip, a desperate attempt to push back the tide, but the reality pressed in harder. It's time to go home. He didn't want to go home, not to a life weighed down by regrets and ghosts of his past. But what was home now? The road stretched out infinitely, a gaping maw about to swallow him whole. As he pressed his foot down harder on the accelerator, he felt the truck lurch beneath him. Each bump was a reminder of his mortality. The fog rolled in thick, but even through it, he could see the sinister outline of the cloaked figure, still standing in the middle of the road, waiting, always. Its grin twisted, teeth glinting in the sparse light like the promise of pain. Suddenly, the engine sputtered. A small but fierce bolt of panic shot through Jake. No, not now! He slammed the steering wheel, frustration clawing at his throat. The truck jerked, sputtering like an old man in the cold, as if it were bent on betraying him too. He wrestled with the wheel, trying to guide it through the veiling darkness. "Come on!" he shouted, desperation pouring from his voice. And then he remembered the glimmer, the flicker of light. It was still there, flickering amid the shadows, glowing softly like hope wrapped in darkness. With renewed determination, he steered the truck towards that light, hoping against hope that it would lead him away from this nightmare. It shimmered just ahead, a beacon beckoning him onward. The figure in the road began to dissolve into the fog, swallowed up as if the darkness didn't approve of its presence. But the whispers turned shrill. "You don't want to know what's waiting there. Stay with us." The shadows twisted and swirled, some rising from the ground like tortured souls stretching out their hands. Jake felt chills run up his spine as he glimpsed faces he thought long buried, fearful eyes, twisted mouths. Each face a reminder of his failures, of the ones he couldn't save. These weren't just shadows, they were memories. The engine roared back to life, jolting him back into the moment. In a blind burst of adrenaline, he slammed the gas down. The truck shot forward, barreling through the mist, the clamor of the spectral voices growing faint behind him. Every fiber of his being was alive with fear, and yet he pushed ahead. Then, in an instant, the glimmer of light grew larger, enveloping him. It pulsed brightly, as if alive. Heart racing, Jake squinted, pushing through the last of the fog. And then, silence. He emerged into a stretch of road completely devoid of fog and shadows. The air was still, too still. The headlights illuminated the asphalt beneath him, smooth, pristine. But then he realized this road hadn't seemed familiar before. It twisted left, right, then there it was, a sign, broken and decrepit, reading, "Welcome to the Lost Highway." His breath caught, dread creeping back. He hadn't escaped. What lay ahead? Was it salvation or the brink of something far worse? Before he could process his thoughts, the sound of rumbling silver returning out of the fog behind him. The specter of the truck had re-emerged, coiling through the mist with a wicked intent, racing toward him once more. Jake's blood turned cold. Not again! And then, amidst the ominous rumble, he heard a chuckle, a cruel sound rising above the din. The laughter echoed louder until the highway itself began to pulse around him. Was he truly alone, or had he just traded one nightmare for another? The road loomed ahead, sinister and unyielding. Which way would he turn again? Would he dare face the horror that awaited, or flee deeper into the unknown? The road loomed ahead that promised salvation and despair alike. The truck's headlights danced wildly across the asphalt as Jake gripped the wheel tighter, sweat beads gathering on his brow. The laugh, deep, unsettling, a resonance of darkness, sunk into his bones. It felt alive, mocking him, teasing his very essence. Every ounce of his rational thought screamed for him to run, to flee the malice crawling back from the fog. Before he could decide, the truck behind him surged forward, its engine growling like a beast hungry for prey. He glanced into the rearview mirror, his heart pounding as he caught glimpses of flickering shadows within the cab. Faces twisted in agony, mouths wide in silent screams. They belonged to people lost to the highway, forever trapped in the torment of their final moments. Jake could almost hear them cry, begging to be freed, their energy feeding the malevolence of the figure pursuing him. "Get away from me!" he shouted into the night, hoping his voice could ward off the impending doom. The road ahead twisted menacingly, its surface slick with an unknown substance that shimmered under the lights. He could feel the asphalt pulsing beneath the wheels, like the heartbeat of a creature slumbering below. Jake could either follow its deadly rhythm or risk a dangerous turn into the depths of the unknown darkness that loomed on either side. Before he could make up his mind, the truck's engine sputtered again, choking as if it were a living thing slowly expiring. Panic flickered within him. He had come too far to give up now. Not now! He pressed the accelerator to the floor, feeling the truck surge forward as if propelled by sheer willpower. But the laughter grew louder, transforming into a cacophony of taunting voices. Bodies of the lost appeared in the periphery, flickering in and out like old film reels. Their eyes were sunken, haunted reflections of their unfulfilled lives, clinging to the side of his truck as if begging for a place in the present. With every trembling mile, he could sense the fabric of reality bending around him, drawn to the weight of their sorrow. They were angry, they were desperate, they were helpless, and these emotions wrapped tight around him, binding him to this cursed road. "Think, Jake, you can't keep running," he muttered to himself, disoriented by the whirl of voices and visions.
Then he saw it, a side road jutting off into darkness. Shrouded in mystery, it seemed like a perfect escape, yet something deep inside him warned against it. What horrors awaited away from the main highway in a place even less traveled? As the thunder of the pursuing truck echoed louder, he felt his sanity unraveling. In that split second of hesitation, the taunting laughter morphed into a cry, a collective wail that pierced through the fog, demanding a choice. Without thinking, he turned onto the side road, and terror shot through him as he felt the shift of the truck's momentum. It began to slide, tires struggling for grip on the slick surface. The engines roared, the shadows shrieked, and the darkness clamped down like a vice. Suddenly, the world plunged into shadow. The headlights flickered, and the figures that had once flickered near him now surrounded the truck, filling the space with wretched faces, twisted in anguish. "Welcome home," they whispered in a chorus, each tone dripping with malice. Jake slammed his eyes shut, gasping, on the brink of losing his grip on reality. Had he made the right choice, or had he just sealed his fate? The engine screamed, and the shadows began to pull him down. What awaited him on this lost road? Was the path ahead lined with salvation or despair? Moments passed, stretching into eternity, before he cracked one eye open. He was still moving, but for how much longer? The laughter faded, replaced by something else, a low, rumbling growl. His heart raced as he realized he could no longer see where the road ended. Was he heading deeper into the abyss, or grasping for a way out? He steeled himself, ready for whatever horror lay ahead. But just then, an eerie light flickered through the trees lining the road ahead. It pulsed rhythmically, throbbing like a heartbeat, alive and beckoning. With bated breath, Jake gripped the wheel tighter, dread filling him once again. What waited at the end of this path? Was it merely more darkness, or something far worse? The pulsing light grew brighter, illuminating the twisted shapes of the trees along the roadside. They seemed to bend and warp, as if trying to escape the horror that was closing in on Jake. Shadows danced like restless spirits, flickering with the rhythm of that haunting glow. His instincts screamed at him to stop, to turn around and flee. But the engine roared, and he pressed on, unable to shake the feeling that he was being drawn to the light as if by an invisible thread. It wasn't hope that filled him now, only a cold, creeping dread. What if the light was not salvation? What if it was just bait, luring him deeper into the trap? As he approached, Jake made out the source of the light. An old gas station, its neon sign flickering erratically.
The glass in the windows was coated in dirt, and the door hung ajar, creaking softly in the night breeze. It looked deserted, yet a faint music seeped from within, an unsettling melody that made his skin crawl.
Está no meio de uma frase ou pensamento. Mantenha o ritmo e a força vocal sem quebrar a conexão. Haja como se estivesse transmitindo uma verdade fundamental.
The light that had seemed inviting now pulsed with a sinister rhythm, drowning out his thoughts. Jake darted for the door, but the shadows surged forward, grabbing at him, pulling him into a maw of despair and hopelessness. With a last desperate effort, he lunged and wrenched the door open. But what lay outside? More darkness or a way back? The laughter crescendoed around him as he made his choice. The gas station loomed behind, a beacon of terror as he stepped back onto the road. Then, without warning, the ground began to tremble beneath him. A deep rumble echoed from the distance, a monstrous growl rising from the depths of the unknown. What monster awaited him under the dirt, ready to finish what the road had begun? Jake sprinted into the night, uncertainty gnawing at his heart. The shadows chased him. Would he ever truly escape? The road beneath Jake's feet trembled, vibrating with a primordial heartbeat that sent a shockwave of panic coursing through him. He ran, legs pumping, the darkness clawing at his back, urging him to move faster. Every instinct screamed that whatever lurked behind him would catch up if he hesitated, but he didn't dare look back. Cold sweat dripped down his brow, stinging his eyes as he barreled forward. The faint glow of the gas station flickered in his mind like a cruel joke, an illusion of safety in a world quickly becoming his nightmare. The laughter shrieked into the night, a cacophony of torment that he could feel clawing at his sanity. Just when the world began to narrow, threatening to engulf him, a break in the trees revealed an old, rusted truck parked off the side of the road. Its sad frame was covered in layers of dust, testament to a long neglected life. Hope ignited within him as he darted over to it, praying that somehow it could offer him a way out. Desperation fueled his movements. He tried the door. It was locked. Heart pounding, he kicked at the window, but the glass refused to shatter. A resonance of laughter echoed from behind, dark and mocking, accompanied by the shifting shadows of twisted branches that seemed to stretch toward him. His hands trembled. In his head, he could hear the figure's haunting plea, "Join us." The idea wormed its way into his thoughts, insinuating itself. What if he was better off surrendering? What if escaping the utter darkness was a mistake? No, he wouldn't give in. He couldn't. Then he heard it, the grinding of metal against metal. The sound jerked his attention, and he turned to see the gas station's door slowly creaking open, as though some malevolent force had pulled it. Out stepped a ghastly figure, dressed in ripped clothing, the shape barely human, as fragmented pieces of shadow seemed to emigrate from the depths of the gas station's void, slithering toward him. The laughter died, replaced by a collective murmur that felt like a rope constricting around his throat. "Help us, find peace, came a multitude of voices, soft yet insistent.
They clawed at the edges of his reasoning. With each sinewy tendril of sound, Jake stumbled backward, his breath hitching in his throat. They knew his name. "Stop!" he shouted. "Leave me alone!" But the words hung helplessly in the air as the shadows coalesced, drawing nearer. From out of the depths of that swirling void, the initial figure emerged, more grotesque than before, its chains rattling like fallen spirits, whispering secrets of sorrow and despair. "More will join us," it hissed, a twisted smile spreading across its face, warped and broken. Jake's pulse thundered in his ears, drowning out the whispers threatening to pull him under. He turned, eyes darting around. In the distance, lights twinkled up ahead along the road, their warmth and brightness a beacon of hope that contrasted sharply with the growing darkness behind him. With one final surge of will, he fled toward the lights, heart drumming against his ribs. Could they be real? He fancied the lights could be a safe haven, but as he sprinted, the ground beneath him began to crack. With a chilling sound that echoed through the still night, the earth fissured, opening a gaping maw of darkness. Jake glanced back. The figure stood amidst the chaos, still grinning, shadows stirring like a tempest. "Not all roads lead to freedom," it taunted, before being swallowed by the shifting blackness. Fear tore through Jake as the fissure expanded. He leaped with everything he had, arms outstretched toward the glimmering lights, praying he wouldn't fall into that abyss. The ground shifted again. A booming roar from the depths reverberated, matched only by his frantic heartbeat. Would he be consumed, or would he escape into the uncertain light? Then he felt it. The chain of cold fingers grasp his ankle. As the darkness pulled him down, the light shimmered tantalizingly ahead. Would he break free, or would the shadows claim him forever? Jake gasped as the icy grip tightened around his ankle, pulling him toward the yawning chasm. Panic surged through him like electric current. He kicked wildly, summoning every ounce of strength left in his veins. But the fingers persisted, cold and relentless, dragging him closer to the abyss. Heart racing, he stared desperately at the warm glow of the distant lights, still shimmering like the last vestiges of hope. "No!" he screamed, feeling the weight of despair press against his lungs. With one final desperate heave, he lunged forward, abandoning any thought of strategy. His other foot slipped precariously as he felt another finger latch onto him. But in a wild scramble, he twisted and threw himself toward the glow. He broke free, tumbling onto the cracked pavement. Instinct jolted him up, and he sprinted toward the light, ignoring the gnawing sensation of loss trailing behind. The laughter returned, echoing through the trees, jeering at him, taunting him with promises of peace if he would just stop running. "Find us," the voices cried. The shadows shifted, swirling in chaos behind him. "Join us." Jake plunged into the light with breathless urgency. It engulfed him, wrapping around his limbs like a warm, protective blanket. But as he slowed, heart still thundering, he realized he had not reached safety as he had dreamed, but rather the dim exterior of the gas station. The lights flickered ominously above him,
the glass door now slightly ajar. A pang of nausea rolled through him. Should he step inside? Against every instinct, he knew he had to find out what awaited him, or risk the darkness that lurked outside. Taking a breath, he hesitated, eyes darting to the unforgiving shadows creeping closer, their shape shifting and reshaping like living smoke. Just as he stepped forward, the gas station door swung wide open, a hollow invitation. Inside, the fluorescent lights buzzed with unsettling intensity, illuminating shelves stacked with outdated goods, canned food, faded candy wrappers, and dusty bottles of soda, as if frozen in time. A narrow counter, topped with a chipped cash register, loomed ahead, the ancient bell waiting for someone to disturb its silence. Jake swallowed hard, his heart racing once more. Was this a haven or a trap? The echoes of his pursuers whispered at his back. He stepped inside, compelled despite the creeping dread wrapping around his spine. "Is anyone here?" he called, voice shaking as it bounced through the empty aisles. The air felt thick, oppressive. Shadows flitted at the edge of his vision, an unsettling reminder of the unseen hands reaching for him from outside. As he walked deeper, the feeling intensified. It was almost as if the shadows clung to him, drawn to him like moths to a flame. He rounded a corner and froze. Seated on a rickety stool behind the counter was a figure draped in shadows, face obscured, but eyes glinting with malicious excitement. "Welcome," it whispered, the voice rusty and cracked. "You've made it just in time." Jake's stomach churned as the figure leaned forward. Shadows pulsed around them, writhing to escape, and for a moment he thought he saw faces lurking within. Ghostly and fragmented, they seemed to reach out. "More will join us," it continued, grinning wide, exposing teeth stained with time and darkness. With dread creeping up his throat, Jake took a step back, glancing toward the door, half expecting the figures from outside to rush in and drag him back into the night. But before he could act, the foul breath of the figure washed over him. "Don't you want to find peace?" it hissed, and suddenly the darkness stirred outside. Jake knocked over a can, sending it rolling down the aisle, a frantic distraction to weigh against that wicked smile. He turned to escape, heart pounding. His hand brushed the door, but a sinister laugh echoed, chilling him to the bone. "Time is short, Jake. Join them, or will you resist?" Jake hesitated, his breath shallow. Did he really have a choice? Just as he was turning back, the gas station trembled. The walls trembled like they were alive. What would happen when the lights went out? The figures were closing in, and Jake couldn't wait any longer. Panic surged as he pushed against the door, praying it would open, praying nothing would stop him from escaping into the very darkness he feared. But outside, he could hear them still, their voices melding into a haunting chorus. "More will join us." Would they take him after all? Jake pushed against the door, his heart racing as the faint sounds of hooting whispers danced through the air around him. Shadows congealed, pooling outside, ready to ensnare him into their nightmarish embrace. The corners of his mind filled with visions of twisted faces, forlorn and haunted. "Where can I go?" he gasped, panic coursing through his veins. The gas station felt like a trap. A glimmer of portent filled his thoughts. This wasn't a stop on the way home. This was the crossroads. "More will join us," the phantom figures murmured, their voices enveloping him like a suffocating shroud. He slammed the door shut one last time, leaving that dark-eyed figure behind it, then spun around to face the room. It might have been an illusion, yet he sensed potential answers lurking in the treacherous aisles. With nothing but determination, he sprinted between the shelves, desperate to find anything, an exit, a sign, anything offering hope. Then something caught his eye, a door at the back, slightly ajar, light spilling out like a beacon. Could he make it? He hurried toward it, sidestepping an array of dusty goods that now felt like they were watching him too. With shaky hands, he reached for the knob, pushing it slowly. A warm glow embraced him as he stumbled through, the air fresh and clean, so different from the torment lurking behind him. He found himself in an alley behind the gas station, cluttered but empty. Lights glimmered in the distance. Jake's pulse quickened. Freedom couldn't be far away. Just ahead lay another road, promising refuge and safety. But the shadows behind him flickered and stirred. "Don't leave us, Jake." They clawed at the edges of his existence, desperate, dragging his name into their longing. It was a chant now, a hypnotic lure binding him. Could he really escape? He shivered, unwilling to look back, unwilling to face down the cries that ignited his guilt. He broke into a run, adrenaline surging through his body as he took one step and then another on the asphalt. The enticing lights beckoned him, illuminating a memory of home, a reminder of the life he fought for. With each stride, memories flooded back. Downcast eyes, the echoes of laughter left behind, and faces of people he had let go. "I'm so sorry," he whispered, the weight of remorse crashing over him like waves. Could those specters out there be the souls he once thought he'd saved? Was he truly stronger than the shadows of his past? He faced the fear gnawing deep in his belly. "No more!" he yelled, energy coursing through him. Familiar tears welled in his eyes, but behind them was the stark edge of determination, not despair, for once. "I refuse to join you!" It was a declaration, a battle cry. He rushed onward, blurring the lines between the past and future. The shadows were relentless, behind him, lashing out. They clawed at his thoughts. "You cannot run away from what you feel." But Jake thrust them aside, pushing towards the exit of this hellish road. The lights twinkled more intensely, pulling his focus away from the haunting laughter that echoed like a fading symphony. They lit the way forward, guiding him home like stars shining through the blink of darkness. As he steadied himself, Jake burst through the last wall, spilling out into the opening. The road stretched endlessly before him, clear of fog and shadow. His breath came in ragged gasps, but hope swelled in his chest, growing, blossoming fervently. "I'm alive!" he yelled, the sound ricocheting off the earth, rising above the clamor of anguish that trailed away. In that moment, he found solace, a deep sense of purpose. Yes, life brought pain, and yes, it carried loss. But also, it spilled over with heartbeat and love. He turned back just once, the weight of the past still clinging, but it was no longer a shackle. The shadows lingered on the edge of the gas station, receding into the quiet. their whispers fading as dawn began to break. Jake forged ahead. The road ahead was his, a path built on choices, shaped by decisions forged through pain and joy alike. He would share this story. His horrors would carry lessons, fear as a motivating force, but ultimately the heart's longing for connection and redemption. And as he walked away from Highway 12, he resolved to face the choices he would encounter. He could reclaim hope. "Goodbye. I'm not coming back," he murmured, stepping forward into the rising light of the day, feeling the warmth enveloping him in a final embrace. Jake took a deep breath, grounded in his purpose. But remember, my friend, a journey could lead anywhere. Be sure to choose wisely. Now, before you skip away, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm. Your support is crucial. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this incredible ending. What would you have done differently? Did Jake truly escape? And please, instantly share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Now, before you skip away, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash the like button now to feed the algorithm. Your support is crucial. Flood the comments section with your reactions and theories about this incredible ending. What would you have done differently? And please, instantly share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Don't wait even one more second. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.